So many times I open up a package from the mail with the perfect product inside. It's slick, it's responsive, it's premium, it ticks all the boxes. And when I go to review it, it's the same thing every time. The product is great, but it's overpriced or it's flat out luxury. That's why I've highly anticipated reviewing today's product, because it's finally something that I can recommend to those of you who are out there on a tight budget like I was when I started out. Coming up. I think it's safe to say that I'm a UGEE fan. My very first drawing tablet was the UGEE M708, which I actually have right here. Check that out. All the way back in 2014. And still works, by the way. Needless to say, it's nice to see UGEE making a comeback in the market after some time. Today we are looking at the UGEE U1600, the largest pen display that UGEE currently has to offer. This device is part of their new U series pen displays, which also includes a 12-inch version of this product we're reviewing today. I'm going to talk about the price for a second. The sub $300 price point for pen displays is usually where you find 12-inch tablets. Under $300 is usually where you find 12-inch drawing displays. And the 15-inch drawing displays usually are $300 and up. So that's why this product right here is so special, because you can find this product right here, a 15-inch pen display, for $240 on Amazon right now, or around that price. I think this is a great size for beginners and professionals, because 15 inches is a big size for beginners, right? If you're not even sure if you want to do this whole digital art thing professionally. But for a professional, it's a perfect size. Like, I have no problem using a 15-inch over my 24 Pro that I have from XP Pen. It's a 15-inch display is a really, really nice size. I think this will be great for professionals on a budget, considering the size of this display, the fact that it's laminated, and some of these other specs we're going to talk about in a second. Okay, so in the box you get the drawing monitor itself, a battery-free stylus, replacement nibs, the nib extractor tool, an extension cord, which I'm very happy to see, the 3-in-1 cable, which is L-shaped, so it's very useful, power adapter for the U1600 model only, that's the one we're looking at today, cleaning cloth, and drawing glove. Okay, so the basic stuff. Overall, it's an okay package for the price. The big thing that's missing here is an included stand to prop this thing up a little bit. So many pen displays today don't come packaged with a stand. I don't know, I just don't really recommend drawing on a pen display flat on the desk like a sketchbook. I've always preferred to mount my display, whether I mount it on a height adjustable stand or an arm, because that's the way I like to draw. It's the more comfortable, more ergonomic position for me. So that's how I'm going to be using it today. I'm going to mount it on an arm for maximum ergonomics. Let's talk about specs. 1080p fully laminated display. We have 90% NTSC, 127% sRGB, and 94% Adobe RGB coverage. The color space coverage on this display is really, really good for the price. Like, wow, that's even more Adobe RGB coverage than my 24 Pro from XP Pen. We also have a battery-free, pressure and tilt sensitive stylus with an eraser on the back, which is unique at this price point. As for ports, there's a port to connect your 3-in-1 cable right here. So you can use this port to connect this thing to your computer if you don't have a USB-C video output on your computer. And you can also use it to supply extra power to the device if you're connecting it to your phone. And over here, this is the USB-C port you use if you're going to use one USB-C cable to connect to your laptop or your phone. That'll look very clean. But today I'm going to be just using the standard connection, using the 3-in-1 cable with my computer, plugging into the HDMI port and the USB ports. On the back, there are no VESA mounting holes. So if you want to mount this on an arm, you're gonna have to get yourself a laptop or tablet VESA mount as well. So I'll show you guys the one I have that I'm using today. Yeah, you have to get that separately. My pen display didn't come with these scratches on the back. I had actually used screws that were too big for the laptop mount that protruded from the surface. So when I was sliding the tablet around, the head of the screws was scratching the back of it. So that's actually, my tablet didn't come like this. That's actually just a result from my mounting mistake using the wrong screws. Despite the fact that you'll have to invest in an arm and a VESA mount, I do still highly recommend mounting this on an arm, as you'll get the maximum flexibility and adaptability in your workspace. We have no express keys on the face of this tablet and none on the sides either. I think this looks way better than some tablets with express keys. I think this looks very simple, very generic. It doesn't have to stand out. You know, not every piece of equipment you have has to be the star on your desk. I'm so glad this thing just has a very simple, rounded edge design that just sort of falls into the background, and it just looks like a drawing tablet. It doesn't look like a spaceship, you know. This is not a standalone device. You have to plug this in to your computer, laptop, or even your phone, your Android phone, which is really, really cool. If you have a full-featured USB-C cable, this tablet will work with your Android phone, which is huge for portability. On paper, this is an excellent value for just $240. Okay, so I'm going to take you through my entire workflow with this device from setup all the way to making artwork, and give you my thoughts about this product along the way. Starting with the tablet itself, I have this mounted on a monitor arm. So I have the monitor arm connected to a laptop tray that's holding this tablet. Very convenient setup. I can lift up the tablet if I need to, move a cable or something like that. I can move it around, I can turn it off and put it away, put something else on the monitor arm. Very, very convenient setup. So I'm actually glad that this thing didn't come with VESA mount holes in the back, because that might have beefed up the design a little bit and made it incompatible with this laptop tray VESA mount. I have the L-shaped cable running to my computer. That's the 3-in-1 cable. Very, very convenient, by the way. I thought that having the cables on the top would look not good. I thought that it was gonna look tacky. I'm so used to having the cables in the back and to the right, off to the side, so you don't even see them while you're drawing. This actually doesn't look that bad at all. It looks very simple, and I can see the practical value of a thin device having its ports on the top. So in the end, it turned out to work better than I thought it would, because I've constantly been changing around my desk and putting the tablet on the left, and then I put it on the right. So I guess having the cable not favor either the left or the right does save you some space, and it saves you some unpleasant looking cable setups on your desk. So I'm actually happy that they did put the port on top. I feel like a person who is a beginner or a professional can buy this tablet and never have to upgrade easily. They never have to upgrade to like a 24-inch to a 32-inch, because you have so much advantage with using a smaller device like this. And this is how I recommend you use a tablet like this. I recommend you have a second monitor. You put this thing on an arm to move it around and draw however you want. It's a virtual sketchbook, and it's a very ergonomic virtual sketchbook. This is how I recommend you use a tablet of this size. This is how I use it, and I've been enjoying it over the past week, 2 weeks that I've been using it. Okay, enough talk, let's start drawing. The piece I'm working on today is my new channel banner. I'm going for a sort of comic book cover style painting. So that means I'm going to be employing line art pretty heavily, and I'm going to go a little lighter on the painting and rendering side. And here are my thoughts on this device as I spent I don't know, 36 plus hours painting this. Really took a long time. This tablet has a 15-inch screen, and that size is just right for me. It keeps the image that I'm drawing small enough so I can maintain good composition without focusing too much on details as I'm working. It keeps the image still small enough so I still see it in front of me as a sort of thumbnail in a sense. Usually with the big tablets, you can get caught up with all the needless details. With this one, it's a perfect size where the image is small enough where I can judge the entire drawing at once as a whole image. And boy, speaking of drawing, the laminated screen on this thing is just, it's great. My Artist 24 Pro from XP Pen has a partially laminated screen. Parallax is a little bigger than on this device, I believe. And man, this device, just drawing on it is awesome. The screen has a nice matte texture to it, and overall, I just enjoy it. That is to say though that I'm not a fan of the pen. The pen is just a bit too small for me, although I did end up getting used to it. Like using it now, I have no problems, but I still prefer to have a bigger pen. This tablet also has a pen tablet mode, which I believe if you hold down the button or something like that, the power button, you can turn it into a pen tablet, which is pretty cool because this has a 15-inch working area. So you can just switch it to a pen tablet and use it with your second monitor. And that's a pretty big pen tablet. So pretty cool. I like the size of this device because it's big enough to have a good drawing experience and small enough to fit in a bag, small enough to, when you mount it up on an arm, you can just push it out of the way when you're not using it. It's like the perfect size. Moving on, the screen looks pretty good. The colors aren't the most accurate as expected. After all, these aren't calibrated when you get them, but the colors look good. One thing I don't like though is that the screen doesn't get very bright. At its brightest, it seems like, I mean, it's usable, but I think this thing should get much brighter, especially when you're talking about color accuracy. Colors just don't look as vivid when the screen can't get too bright. Like, you know, the whites start looking like off-whites, they start looking like little grays. And since I have a second monitor that is color calibrated, that does get very bright, it doesn't bother me that much. But if this is your only display and your only other option is your laptop screen, which I bet you probably isn't color calibrated, I can see how that would be a problem. So moving from drawing and painting, let's go to animation. And I'm mainly talking about 2D hand-drawn animation on the digital platform. This device has no express keys that come with it. As an animator, I always wanted my devices to have express keys. That's before I got a TorBox, because animation programs just have so many shortcuts. And sure, you can use your keyboard, but they have so many shortcuts. Sometimes using express keys along with your keyboard is the way to go. With that said though, I do like the look without the express keys better. It's so clean, doesn't stand out too much on my desk. Said it before, I like it. Animation takes a lot of time, and this tablet does not come with an included stand. Personally, I'm not that bothered by it because I'd recommend that you go and buy a third-party stand anyway. Get yourself a monitor arm, get yourself a laptop, VESA adapter, and you're good. But some people would appreciate probably having just a thing to prop up the thing maybe 20, 30 degrees. That would be helpful, especially for those of us who have back troubles and stuff like that. I don't really recommend drawing with this thing flat on the desk. That's just not the way I would use it. If that's fine for you, then I probably just ignore this segment. So animation programs tend to have a lot of windows and panels and dockers on the side of your drawing area. So a 15-inch tablet, you may have to hide a lot of the windows while you're drawing and then reopen them when you need to use them. It's all right with a 15-inch. It's something that you're aware of, admittedly, you know, making sure to close this window, close that panel, close that docker when you're working. But it's not as bad as if you were drawing on a 12-inch, because sometimes the 12 inches, man, your drawing area is so small. Sometimes you just gotta make the canvas full screen and then only use one tool and then go back. It's a good size. It is something that you have to be aware of while you're working to make sure you have enough canvas space for your drawing. Let me give you guys a list of pros and cons to help you finalize your decision. I'm gonna start with the cons because those are the most important. Number one is that this device does not come with a pen holder. When you're done using your pen, there's nowhere to put it. I have pen holders from other devices that I've used that I can use this thing with, but it doesn't come with one. So you just gotta find some place to put your pen. Number two, the pen is small for me. I don't really like it, but I got used to it. I'm sure anyone banking on this device being their pick, you'll get used to it. I don't think it's a deal breaker. I have fairly large hands, so I like to have a larger pen, but I got used to it. I think a lot of people can end up getting used to it. And if you have smaller hands, then even better, right? Con number three, the whole build is made of plastic, so it can feel a bit cheap. I don't mind it personally, but it can feel a bit cheap. Some people may not like that, but you gotta remember the price that you got this thing for, and the fact that they even make devices like this is awesome. Personally, I wouldn't want them to raise the price just to have a better build. Although it does feel like it's made of plastic, which it is, it has all the necessary components there, and I think you'll get a lot of hours using this device. Finally, con number four, the screen doesn't get very bright, and when I got it, it came in looking kind of magenta, so you'll have to adjust it when you first turn it on. And if you don't have a reference to adjust it to, like I have this monitor right here that's color calibrated, and you're kind of in the dark, you know? And that screen brightness thing for color accuracy, if you're depending on this monitor to be color accurate, it's lacking in that area, I bet. It has the color space coverage if you calibrate it, but it just doesn't get that bright, and therefore I think it's lacking. All right, on to the pros. Number one, this device is a great value for the money you spend on it. For $240, $220 I've seen it for on Amazon, that's a really good price. Yes, if you spend $300, $400, you're gonna get a device with a better build. You're gonna get a device that's probably brighter. Maybe it feels a little smoother to draw on. But honestly, I'm glad they make cheaper, more plastic devices so people with less money, with a lower budget, can still get a pen display, a 15-inch pen display for the price of a 12-inch. Number two, the drawing experience is awesome on this thing. It just knocks it out of the park. I like drawing on this, like the feeling of drawing, better than drawing on my 24 Pro because of that laminated screen, because of that matte surface. It feels really good. And number 3, it's small, it's light, it's portable, it can connect to your phone. That's probably number 4. You can use one USB-C cable to connect to it. That's probably number 5. Overall, I can safely say that I recommend the UGEE U1600. I think this is a great pick for beginners and pros who are looking for a budget drawing display. That's why I can say with a clean conscience that the UGEE U1600 has received the Noble Frugal seal of approval. This is a well-made device for the price, and I think it's worth considering. I think this is only the second item I've ever given the seal of approval. Congrats, UGEE. Thank you all for watching. I hope this helped you make a decision on your search for affordable digital art gear, because there's a lot of stuff out there, and it's hard to know what's worth your money. Huge thank you to UGEE for sending this to me for review. You guys did an excellent job on this device, and I'm glad to see you back in the market. With that said, I will catch you guys in the next one. Happy animating.